Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing runes. Now, this may be looking familiar, and in fact, because it is looking familiar, that's deliberately why I picked this particular puzzle for the weekend. So, Sleuth continues to wander around the countryside and continues to come across these stones with magical glyphs, magical runes on them, and I guess we're going to have to try and decipher what's going on in here. Now, if you haven't guessed, and there's really no reason to guess this based on what you've seen in this thumbnail, we're back to the equality cages series. And in fact, it's equality cages and shifter lines combined in this particular puzzle. Now, it is called runes, and when I flip over the grid, you're going to see a bunch of glyphs, runes that I think it's very aptly named, hence the particular thumbnail that you're looking at today. Hopefully this will be another magical puzzle from gUBBLOR. Most of them have been fantastic. Can I say most of them? I can actually say all of them have been fantastic. So I have high expectations, really looking forward to solving today's puzzle, which is equality cages 124 cross shifter lines 110. Let's crack on, let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule sets. So we've got equality cages, as I mentioned, and this is about runes by gUBBLOR. Now the font size I know is a little bit on the smaller side, so if you can't follow it on the screen, remember all the rules are in the description down below, as well as a link for you to actually play. So if you're familiar with the rules, just get on with the solve, and you're always welcome to have a look for reference. In the meantime, for those of you not familiar with this, so we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. That obviously means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, column, and 3x3 box. Then we have equality cages. So cages must have an equal number of low digits, so 1, 2, 3, 4, as well as an equal number of high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now it also has to have an equal number of even, so let's say this is 2, 4, and odd, so that would have to be 7, 9. And that would be a valid set of pencil marks for an equality cage. Two other things about equality cages: they can never contain a 5, and digits may not repeat in a cage, which I don't think is necessarily stated because all the cages are either in the same row or in the same box. So definitely no repeats. Then we have, of course, the shifter lines. So you can see that these bright yellow lines, I think yellow is lime yellow, kind of. Anyhow, adjacent digits within the same box in a shifter line must share both parity, as in even/odd, or polarity, as in low/high. So for example, if this cell here was a 2, this would have to be a 4 to make sure that it's both low and even. Now, when the line enters a new box, it has to shift either parity or polarity. So if it shifts parity, that would be essentially, rather than low even, it will be low odd, such as 1, 3. Or I can shift polarity, but have to keep the same parity. So this is low even, I can go high even with 6 and 8 in here. So what you cannot do, I mean, I think it's fairly obvious in this particular case. Let me see if I can go in. Yeah, let's do it in here. Let's say that this is 2, 4. What you cannot do is shift neither. So if I put 2 and 4 in here, that line crossing here clearly has to shift either parity or polarity. It also cannot shift both. So I can't go from low even to high odd. That would break the rule sets. Last but not least, shifter lines can never have a 5, so this would absolutely not be allowed on any shifter line. Right, we've got crop key dots. So a black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2:1 ratio. So if that's a 2, for example, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that one cell is double the other. Then we also have white dot between cells. So if that is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3 to make sure that it is consecutive with the 2. Not all dots are given, so that 2 with a 3 in here clearly has a white dot. That 2 with a 4 would normally have a black dot, but again, this is allowed because negative constraints do not apply. Not all dots are shown. So that's all the rules we have for today. So if you want to help along decipher what these runes mean, alongside Sleuth, who's just come across them in a random field, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. So I think these are the place to start. Let me do a bit of coloring. Yeah, if it's all about shifted lines to start and the black crop dots probably, let's do a bit of coloring and explain what's going on. So if I put the groups of digits that are same parity and polarity, 2, 4, 1, 3, 6, 8, and 7, 9. Did I do this correctly? I think I didn't. Yeah, I did not. 1, 3, 2, 4. Thank you. Right, what I'm going to do now is going to do something absolutely incredible. I'm going to color these red and I'm going to color these blue. Now, whenever a shifted line basically enters a new box, the way to think about this is essentially it's shifting colors between either red to blue or blue to red. And you can see that if a 1, 3 is in here, then either I have to go to a different parity, so 2, 4, so shifting almost like going clockwise around this circle, or I can go to a different polarity, so I can go to 7, 9. What I cannot do is stay in place or go diagonally across this particular circle. So shifter lines, and actually to some degree equality cages, both have a very important reference to these colors. And I'll show you more as we crack on. So let's say I don't know what is blue or red in this case. So I'm just going to pick some random colors. Let's go with orange and purple, because this is shifting to a different box. This has to be purple, and this is going to have to be orange. And I think we are going to have to care about this. Actually, this is very helpful. Right, equality cages. A 2-cell equality cage, back to my reference for a second, has to have the same color. That's not true for 4, but a 4-cell cage, but absolutely true for a 2-cell cage. So if you imagine that this is 1, 3, so this is low and odd, to make sure I have an equal number of each, as in low and high, odd and even, this has to be a high even digit, which you can see is the opposite side, which is the same color. So this has to be purple. And then using that same logic, this has to be orange. Because the equality cage has to be the same color, and you only have 4 of these colors, so these 2 would have to be orange. Let me just think about this for a second. I'm going to go with another color, unfortunately. Sorry about that. So if that's green, yellow, that's highly not visible. And then because it's yellow, it'll jump back to green and then jump back to yellow. And then that's the answer. 3 purples. Green can't be purple, otherwise that would break the puzzle with 5 purple cells in row 3. So green has to be orange as well, and yellow has to be purple as well. I should get rid of these before it causes me any problems. So I'm half tempted to actually think about the black crop dots for a second. So if you think about the pairs that are available, how is this best illustrated? Yeah, let me keep this reference up for a second somewhere. Let's go with 1, 3, 2, 4, 6, 8, 7, 9. And I'm going to use red and blue for these so that they're clearly distinct from the rest of it. And then think about my options for black crop dots. I could do the powers of 2, so 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 8, or I could do 3, 6. Now, 1, 2 is picking a red and a blue, which clearly is not what we're after. We're after 2 black crop dot digits that are of the same color. 2, 4 qualifies, they're both blue. 4, 8 doesn't, that's blue and red. And then 3, 6 also qualifies, that's red, that's red. So these cells are actually forced, because there's 4 of them. They're essentially a 2, 4, 3, 6 setup, which forces this to include a 1. Because essentially I've used 2, 3, and 4. An equality cage has to have a low digit, and 2, 3, and 4 are gone. So this has a 1, And because it has a 1, orange is red. Hopefully that made sense, as in from 1368. And in fact, it's specifically 18 because I've already used the 6 in here. And then purple is blue. And therefore, this is not 36, this is not 24. That's 36, that's 24. Shift to line, they have to be the same. So that is 24. Then I change colors to whatever this is. I'm going to blue, so this is either 24 or 79. Can you guess which one on a black crop key dot is allowed? Clearly not the 79, so that is 24. Now, this has to be 1 or 8, because if it's 2, it can't go to 4, that's already in. That would be 1. And if it's 4, it has to go to 8 because 2 is not available. So that's red. Not sure yet if I'm necessarily going to color things off the shifter lines and cages, but I may do. Let's keep going with purples, and then that would be shifting to orange, and then here it would be shifting to orange again, and then obviously that's on the same shifter line, so that's orange, and then back across the box that would be purple. So purple in this case is, because we've got already 2 blues, purple has to be red, and then orange has to be blue. And so tempted to, I think I have to. I am going to actually color it at least in here, because that tells me that all 4 reds are done. So this is a 5, 7, 9. And actually that's not a 5 because it's actually just an 8. Because the only way I can get across with the white crop key dot is that this is 7, 9. I am going to color for a bit longer. 1 in here means this is not a 1, 3 pair. This is a 6, 8 pair. Therefore this is a 1 because the 8 is not available. And this is a 3. And then this 7, 9 tells me that these two are 2, 4, and therefore this is 7, 9. Lovely. 3 cells in here that are red means that this equality cage has to be blue. It is 2, 4, 7, 9, and the 2 4s can't be in this cell. So that's the 2, 4, that's the 7, 9. And I end up with a triplet of 5, 7, 9. So I actually know what these digits are. In fact, that's a 1, just straightforward Sudoku. And then this is whatever the last red digit is, which is a 6. Which gives me 3, which gives me 6. Lovely. This is not 2, 4. I've got a 2, 4 pair looking at it. So that has to be 7, 9. And in fact, the 2, 4 pair tells me that this can't be the other 2, 4. This is 2, 4, and that's a 5. And I am going to actually end up coloring the entire grid. This is going to be easier this way. 5, 7, 9. So in this column, I have another 7, 9 and a 3. 3, 7, 9. Okay. Did I do this correctly? No, because I don't know if this is a 5. I know that there is a 3. Right, okay. We'll come back to this. 2, 4 in here gives me another 7, 9. This has to be 5, 7, 9 with a definite 5. Now we've got 3 blues in here. That has to be red. Essentially, there's a 7, 9 in here plus the 2 4s. If I put a 7, 9 in here, I've broken it because I don't have a 2, 4 available. Where do we go from here? Is a really good question. Ah, Sleuth. So remember what I said? I don't know if this is a 5 or not. I do. I've got a single 7, 9 in column 7. I need the second 7, 9 in this column, and it's got to be somewhere in these 3 cells, which would make 2 in box 9, and therefore there isn't another 7, 9 in here. So that's 1, 7, 9. This has to be 7, 9, otherwise I've broken the puzzle, and that's a 5, and that's blue. And then these two are 3, 5. I don't know if I want to pencil mark these. This is 6, 8 with 7, 9. You know, this essentially this the other partner of this 7, 9. Yeah, not too sure where to go other than this 4-cell equality cage, which feels like hard work, so I'm just taking a look around, trying to figure out alternative options. and not coming up with better ideas. Right, so these two are, because they're a shifted line, they definitely have to be the same color. So let's go with purple. Then I jump to orange in here because it's shifting to another box. Now, my options are either this is double purple or it's purple and orange. Now, if it's double purple, then obviously this would have to be blue. So I'm just trying to visualize all of this. Then this would have to be red, and all of that seems to be working fine because, you know, obviously this, if they're all the same color, this would be forced. Now, if they're not the same color, what does that mean? Then essentially there is a red, so the reds would be done in this box. And then I would have 1, 2, 3 reds. This would have to be red, and then these would have to be blue. And then I would have essentially a blue in here, 1, 2, and this. So I don't know if I can actually determine this just yet. If this is purple, sorry, orange, then this has to be purple. And then this would have to be 1, 2, or 4, 8. So far, all of that seems doable. I'm not sure if I'm further forward, if I'm honest. Am I not? Actually, hang on. I haven't really thought about this white crop dot. Right. Okay, let's think about this for a second. So if this is a different color, then essentially one of these is red. And whichever one it is, it would be 6, 8. Because 1 and 3 are not allowed. And it would be a second 6, 8 somewhere in here. Then what does it do? So the red would be gone. 1, 3, 6, and 8 would be gone. What cell would this be? So let me just write down the digits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, 2, 4 are gone. 1, 3, 6, 8 are gone. And this would have to be blue. 5, 7, 9. Now, if this is all blue, well, this couldn't be 2. It would have to be 4, 7, or 9. And this would have to be, yeah, this is too hard. I am looking at it too early. It's probably used a little bit later. Let's just see if there's easier things to do. Sorry, I need a second here to figure this out. No, I'm really struggling with this one. Let's try this again. Right, so I am going to just use proper colors for a second, pardon me. If this is all blue, this would be red. And this would have to be 1, 3, 6, 8. So both 6, 8s would be gone, and this would have to be 1, 3. Okay. Now, the other alternative is that this is 2 blues and 2 reds. I can afford one more blue up here. Then this would have to be blue. That was the trick. Sorry, let me just pick some random bits. It doesn't matter which one is blue and which one is red, but let's just follow my logic for a second. Because I have 3 blues in row 4, the maximum number of blues I can put up here is 1 more. Then I end up with 1, 2, and 3. So the 4th blue in box 4 would have to be in here, which can be, if this would force this to be red, and this would have to be 6, 8, and therefore it would have to connect to a blue digit, would have to be 7, 9. Yeah, and this is, so regardless, this is always 1, 3. Whether this is entirely blue or whether this is not entirely blue, this is always 1, 3. So that's kind of helpful to know. Is it? Hang on, if this is not all red. Yeah, this could be blue, but because this is 6, 8, doesn't, oh yeah, because this is 6, 8, and this is the same color, yes, that always has to be 1, 3. Sorry, for a second I really thought that I had the polarity down, but I don't. Sorry, I had the color down, but I don't actually. So this is still purple. Come on, Sleuth, what's going on here? So this is a high digit, because 1, 2, 3, and 4 are gone. So this is 6, 7, 8, or 9, and this is 2, 3, 4. It's not a 1. Not enough, though. I think I should move on. And the challenge is I don't see where I could move on to. I mean, it's just, it feels like it really is this spot that needs to help me out. If this is purple, they're both orange, and then this is 3, 6, 2, 4. Sorry, let's just, sorry, I'm going to do this one last time. If they're both blue, then this is red, and then they have to be both red. Yep. And then this is 3, 6. That looks fine to me. And then this is not 2, but it can be 4. It would be 4, 7, or 9. In fact, very specifically, whatever digit is in here. Actually, let me just sort of follow this through. If that's 6, that would be 8. If that's 3, that would be 1, which is not allowed. We force this to be 1, 3. So that would have to be 8. This would have to be 6, and this would have to be 3. Then that is not a 2. We've already established that for some reason. I mean, so far this looks really feasible and realistic, so it works. But let's try this instead. Blue and red, bearing in mind that the red and blue could be flipped round, so this is not necessarily proof whatsoever. This is 6, 8. This is blue. This would be red. And then this would have to be blue. Both of these would have to be blue. So this is 2, 4 from the black crop kiddos that are allowed. And this is 6, 8. And obviously it would have to be 8. And this would have to be 4. And this would have to be the 8. And this, sorry, the 6. And this would have to be the 8. And that would be 6. Oh yeah, but this is blue. Sorry, I thought for a second I broke this equality cage. And then this could be, frankly, whatever. Then this 6 sign would have to be either 7 or 5. And both work. So if it's red, this is 5, 7. I'm going to leave that for a second. Now, if the colors are reversed, as in this is red, this is blue, this still has to be 6, 8. Then I flip onto blue, and then these have to be red. Then this is the 6, 8, and this is the 2, 4, and this has to be the 8. and this has to be the 4, and this has to be the 6, and this has to be the 8. And then in here, this would be 6, and then this would be, well, this can never be a 2, we have already established that, and it's not a 4, so this would have to be 7 or 9. Can't be 9, the 8 is not available. It would have to be 7, which would have to be 8 or 6, which is not available. So this round of colors doesn't work. And then the last option is that this is entirely blue, and therefore these are entirely red, and therefore this is 3, 6. No, we actually knew what this is, because this couldn't be 1 or 3. This would have to be the 8, this would have to be the 6, this would have to be the 3. And then this couldn't be a 2. It could be 4, 7, or 9. Now 9 can't work still, because that is an 8 that is not available here. And 7 could work. So this is 5, 6, or 7, and 4 would work with a 5. Interesting. That is a very hard-earned 5, 6, 7. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure it's actually helped me. So I should probably be doing some Sudoku instead. Is this the way to do this? I mean, this is a bit silly now. Right, so 6, 8, 7, 9. So if this is blue, it'll be 7, 9. That would be 2, 4. And then the 2 can't be a 1. This would have to be a 4. And the 4 could be 2 or 8. Now, if this is red, this would be 6 or 8. This would be 1 because it can't be a 6. Sorry, it can't be 3 with a 6. And then the 1 would be 2, 4, 8. So this is 2, 4, 8. We don't know the color. See that 6 is up here. Just Sudoku. What am I missing? I know I'm missing something, but what is it? Come on, Sleuth. Some fairly obvious low-hanging stuff. Which, to be fair, didn't exactly give me much. How do I determine which is which? I'm not sure I can yet. So in this row, so 4, 7, and 9 are not here, here, or here. So I could have a 7 in here. Right, maybe this is it. 4, 7, 9 are not there. 4, 7, 9 are not here. I need 3 of these. Now, if this is mixed, it would have to be 4, 9. And because they're not the same, it would have to be something like this, 4, 9. Here we go. That was very hard-earned. That was very hard-earned. And then this would have to be a 4, this would have to be a 5, this would have to be a 9. But more importantly, because these two are 6, 8, I've broken the equality cage. Wow. That makes sense. Let me just go through it one more time, and then I think we're going to pick up pace a bit. So 4, 7, and 9 are not in any of these cells. I need them in box 4. then my options are either this equality case is entirely blue, because it's got 3 blues and therefore would have to have 4 blues. That's one option, which I think is the option. Now, if I'm still trying to peddle that example that this is 2 blues and 2 reds, well, I only have 2 of 4, 7, and 9 in here, and the third one has to be there, which from the 4, 7, 9 can only be the 7. Can only be the 7. So this would have to be the red digit, the 6, 8. And therefore these two would have to be blue, and it would have to be the 4, 9 option, which is clearly breaking this shifted line. So long story short, and that is really long story short, this has to be blue, and therefore these are red, both of them are red, and this is 3, 6. And this is actually 4. This 1, 3 tells me that's an 8, that is a 6, that is a 3. Now, if memory says this is 2, 4, 7, or 9, remember it wasn't a 2, it would have to be 4, 7, or 9. It can't be a 9 because that would require this to be an 8. Can't be a 7 either, this has to be a 4. And therefore this is a 5, this is a 2. I've broken it again. Oh, because this could have been a 6, sorry. So this can be a 7. Excuse me. Right, whichever one is this. If this is a 4, this would have to be a 2, which is not allowed. If this is a 7, this would have to be a 9, and then this would be 4, 2. If that's 7, if that's 2, 4, this would be 7, 9. Anyhow, 2 gave me a 9, gives me a 7, because these two have to be essentially equivalent on a shifted line, because this is a shifted line. That would be 2, that would be 4, that would be 6. And finally, some progress. This is 6, 8, therefore this is blue, and therefore this is also blue, and this is not a 3. Wow, that was hard work. 5, 8 in here. 6s, and 6s. That's a 6. This is a 1 because it can't be a 3. So I have 3, 8 that are left. This is not, in fact, the 5s are kind of lining up in columns 1 and 2 between box 1 and 4. That's a 5. This is 7 and 9. Therefore, this is a 3, 8 pair, which forces this to be a 1. Fantastic. Can I keep this going? 9 in here. I didn't mean to do that. 9 in there. 7 in here. 3 gave me an 8 and 3 if I paid attention. That's all the red digits done. 5, 8, 9. So this is not 5, 8. This is 9. This is 7. This is 5. This is 7. This is 8. Why am I not paying attention? Sorry about this. 3 gave me an 8, which gave me a 5, which gave me a 9, which gave me a 5, a 7, a 3, an 8, and then down here it's a 2, 4, 7 or 9, nope, 7, 9, and then these are 1, 7, and 4, 1, 4, 7, not 4, not 1 in fact, 7, not 7s, this is a 1, 4 pair. I have a 1, 2, 4 triplet. But anyhow, I've got all the blue digits. This has to be red. 1 and 3 are not available, so this is 6, 8. This has to be a low digit, can only be a 3. This is another 6, 8 because I need another one in the row, and that 3 gave me a 5 and a 3. This is still 6, 8 or 7, 9. It's not an 8 though. So if it is red, it's 6. If it is blue, it's 7, 9. Not sure I can do better just yet. Can I resolve these? That 7 gave me a 9, a 7. That 9 gave me a 7, a 9, a 7. No 7s in here, so this is a 6, 8, 9 setup. This is 8, 9. Don't need the corner pencil marks anymore. This is still 1, 2, 4, and then in here is a 5. And depending on the color of this. So for example, if this is red, that would be 2, that would be 4, that would be 6, and then this would be 5, 9. Otherwise, this would be 5, 6, and then that would be 9, 2, 4, that would be 1. Okay. Something else I'm sure will help us figure out what it is. That 2 removes a 2, which removes a 1. That is blue. As I was saying, something will help us figure that out. 8, 6, and 8, not 9. So that's a 5, 6 pair. That forces this to be a 1, a 4, a 2, a 4, a 2, a 4. That was an 8 ages ago because of that 6. That's a 6. 5, 6 pair. In here I have 1, 7, and 9. Not 1, not 7. These now have to be red because I've got 3 blues already, and that is the blue. That is a 7, not a 7. 1, 9 pair gives me a 7 in here. This is 1, 3 with an 8. That 8 tells me that's the 8. This is 1 or 3. Let's keep this going. What are these 2 digits? 5 and 9, I'm going to say. And then these, there's another 1, 3, plus 2, and 6. I don't actually know where any of this is yet. Come on, surely I can resolve. Oh yeah, I can. 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. So I know these 2 digits now. They are 5 and 9 again. And actually the 5s, they line up in columns 4 and 5. So that's not the 5, that's the 9, that's the 5. That keeps going. 5, 6, 1, 9, 5, 9. Lovely. That's 3, that's 1, that's 3 because of this 1. And these are 1, which can only be in here, 2, which can only be in there, and 5, which, no, not 5, 6, which can only be there. Right, bunch of Sudoku to finish up. And let's just scan more carefully. Sleuth. 3, 4, and if I've not made any mistakes, 8 for the finish. That's a lovely puzzle, gUBBLOR. Fantastic puzzle. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video. Something that I'm sort of planning to do a little bit differently for weekends. So I'll be honest, I'm noticing that weekend puzzles tend to do quite as well. And I think because people really come to this channel for more approachable puzzles. So what I'm planning to do is I'm doing a couple of hard puzzles on Saturday and then back to more approachable ones on Sunday. We'll do this for a couple of weeks and then I'll do a poll just to see how things are coming along. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. See you back for the next video. Bye-bye for now.